Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be talking about my tournament game. This is round 1 of the Melbourne Chess Club Classic Swiss. So just to give a bit of context, this was first off like the second official FIDE rated tournament I ever played in. So this was played back in September of 2022. And my first ever official FIDE tournament I played back in 2018 when I was a much lower rated player and much weaker. And so I entered this tournament with a rating of 1643. And this tournament is divided actually into two sections. The top 10 players based on their FIDE ratings will play their own section of a round robin. I guess so, and it's going to be 9 rounds for them too, or it has been 9 rounds for them. While in the Swiss tournament, everyone else besides the top 10 players just playing the Swiss, and we have like there are different prizes for the Swiss and the round robin. And so I entered this tournament with a rating of 1643, and for the first round I was paired against Samuel De Roy, rated 1215. And so this game, I wanted to, just be solid and hopefully get a smooth victory. And so yeah, I didn't have any expectations for the game except just to basically, hopefully win. But I know that I'm quite rusty because I haven't played a classical game in 4 years essentially. So yeah, I started this game with e4, so my main move, and after c6, the caro-kann, I just play d4, and after d5, e5. So I talk about this in my video that I'm going to link up here on the advanced variation of the caro-kann. And after bishop f5, knight f3, e6, I play the move that I recommend in that video, which is bishop e2, the short variation. And here, the main move by far is to play the move c5. And in that video, I do recommend to play the move c3. The point being that if they take on d4 now, which is quite premature, it gives away the c3 square for the knight to come in. And this is quite a nice position, although it's not that much of an advantage. It's still very nice for white. And instead, the main move is like knight c6, and after castles, cd4. Knight d4 was what I was ready to play. And essentially we get this kind of position again where the knight is able to come to c3. And so I'm quite happy with this kind of position, even though the computer may say that it's equal. So coming back here, instead, my opponent played queen b6 here, and this is already an inaccurate move, even though this has been played a couple of times, by strong players. But the problem with the queen on b6 is that it's quite vulnerable. And the main way to punish this is to play a combination of the move c4, threatening some ideas of like c5, or after d takes c4, play the move knight d2 to capture on c4 with the knight, which really shows the weakness of the queen on b6 because it gets hit with tempo. And so after queen b6, I simply castle. I remember that the c4 move is very thematic, so I was considering if I should play it like right now or after I castle. I decided to castle, but the point is that after c4, d takes c4, knight b to d2, this can soon like transpose into the game, but there's this move bishop d3 which leads to some different types of complications. After knight takes c4, there's this move queen b4 check, but after knight d2, because the knight needs to defend each other, and after bishop c4, in this position white still has a big advantage, but it's not like something that I've researched in depth. So for the sake of practicality, I decided to just castle and not enter this kind of position. I had this exact same position against Michael Barron, FIDE master from Australia, also in Melbourne, in one of our blitz games, and I remember not being able to convert the advantage, even though I had such a nice position. So remembering that game, I just decided, I should just castle here. And here the idea is to play c5. But again, one of the thematic points in this kind of structure is that black does not have enough support over the d5 square right now, with like the knight not yet being on e7. And so the move c4 here is really strong. And I mean, instead of playing c5 right now, if they play a move like um, after c4, let's say if they play a move like knight e7 to try to defend the center, the problem is that it disconnects the bishop's control over c5. And so here I think simplest would just be dc5, queen c5, bishop e3, gaining everything with tempo, and after queen b4, attacking b2, just developing with knight c3. And there's tremendous amount of pressure. There's ideas of like knight b5 here, and so this would just be, I think lost for black. And so it's kind of already too late here. So playing a move like knight e7 is really does not help black at all. And so here instead, c takes d4 was chosen, and here I just decided to take on d5. And after e d5, I played knight takes d4, and now there's an attack on the bishop, and the d5 pawn is weak. So I think that I achieved like a very good opening advantage here, and I was very happy with the position. I couldn't calculate everything that could happen in this position. For example, there's ideas of like bishop g6, the bishop could retreat to d7, it could even go to e4 if it wants to. But I just looked at this position and I thought there's no need to calculate. I'm just going to save my energy, and I know that this position is just very good. And here instead, bishop d7 was chosen. And I was calculating bishop e4 here, and after knight c3, one of the ideas is to play bishop c5, and so this gains a tempo on the knight. And so I was ready to go into knight takes e4 after d takes e4, because if they play bishop takes d4, then I have knight d6, king f8, bishop e3. And this is a very nice pawn sacrifice, because if you take it, it opens up the f file, and this is pretty much decisive. Knight h6 and queen d5. Everything is falling for black. So I calculated something like this, and after d takes e4, knight f5, this just looked very good for white. So something like this, and e d6, and I wasn't entirely sure the evaluation of the position, but with moves like bishop e3 coming, and if black ever takes on b2, then there's going to be rook b1, and I just figured that intuitively this should be very good for white. So coming back actually to this position, my opponent played bishop d7, which is definitely a safer move, and here just play knight c3 to attack d5, and here knight e7 was chosen, and here I decide to play bishop e3 to sacrifice the pawn on b2. Here I also calculated some other moves like bishop f3, for example, attacking d5, and after knight bc6, bishop e3, knight takes e5, something like this, attacking the queen, queen c6, bishop takes d5, takes, and obviously they cannot take on b5 because of knight c7 check. And after bishop d6, knight takes d6, queen d6, and bishop g5, something like this should give also a big advantage. Although, this position is not as clear, I would say. I mean, I think bishop c6 just loses possibly to knight f6. This just wins because of the d6, because the queen is loose. But this is kind of less forcing. Bishop f3 is black could play a number of moves here. They could even play bishop e6 here, and I mean the position should still be very good for white, but I figure that bishop e3 is just more forcing, and if there's a more forcing option, I don't see a reason why you shouldn't choose that. And after queen takes b2, I play knight c to b5, and here I calculated already the following continuation, that they cannot actually win the pawn on e5 and just defend the c7 square, because after takes, I am indeed threatening knight d6 or knight c7, but after queen takes e5, I saw this move bishop d4, and now it's very difficult for black to defend the c7 square, and so the only way to defend it is to play queen f4, but I just simply kick the queen away with g3. And after queen h6, I just win the exchange, knight c7, king d8, and knight takes a8, and now basically the job is done. I just need to be able to convert this position, and so my opponent plays knight bc6. And here I just play, a move, just play the move queen a4, and I didn't see a way that black could prevent the bishop from escaping. For example, taking on a7. Here rook b1 is also very good, you know, putting pressure on b7, but I decided to go for queen a4. And obviously if they trade pieces, then I'm just going to be completely winning. And so my opponent plays knight f5, and here I just take on a7. They try to go for d4, but here I just play bishop e6 check, misplacing the king a bit. And for king d7, now there's a pin on the knight, and so I can actually just apply more pressure on the position. Like I could play the move rook d1 here, but I realized that bishop g4 is just really nice because I am just attacking this knight with a tempo, and also making use of this pin. After queen f6, I play a very nice move, bishop takes d4, making use of this pin so that this knight cannot capture. And now this c6 knight also can't capture because it's also being pinned. And so if the queen captures on d4, I bring one of the rooks in, and this is just decisive, with the king being checkmated very soon. And so instead, queen g6 was chosen, but here I just play rook ad1. You know, they still can't take on g4 because I can give a discovered check and just win the queen. And so in this position, my opponent resigned. And so I think that this game was basically like very, very pristine. There are no mistakes. And I think my average anti-pawn loss was something like 20. So I'm very happy about this game. But you will soon see that the second round game is not that simple. And yeah, I'll just be publishing these videos for the next couple of, you know, maybe 2 weeks or something, just to finish my coverage on this event for me. And yeah, if you have any questions or if you have any suggestions for future videos, please comment those below. And thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. So please stay safe and have fun playing chess. Bye bye.